Hi, I wanted to stop by and talk about grief during the holidays. Losing someone or something is never an easy thing to go through. We never know how it's going to affect us or how it's going to affect others, but the main thing that we do need to be aware of is our own feelings and our own emotions. Sometimes we think that things will never get better. In the moment it hurts, we feel like we'll never be the same again. But somehow, in some way, we do start to realize, hey, I can navigate this life without the person. It's never easy. It's never an easy task. And we can never tell someone how to grieve, but we can be supportive. And that brings me to my first point, is being mindful. We hear that word a lot. And what does it really mean to us personally, right? Well, mindfulness really has to do with awareness. You know, being aware of our own feelings, our own emotions. That's where we need to start. So when we're grieving, sometimes we get this immediate reaction of just the sadness and this heaviness that we feel like we're never going to be able to be the same. And then as we move through, and as the days go by, as the weeks go by, as different things are taken care of, we feel like it's never going to get better. But then somewhere along the way, hopefully we have people that are supportive. But then we need to be in touch with our own feelings. If we're feeling poorly, we need to be aware that we need to try to participate in making ourselves feel better, because we can't leave it to someone else. We can have other people in our lives that are supportive, but we also have to sometimes communicate our needs. You know, we have people that are going through their own things themselves. Sometimes they don't even know the impact of your loss. And sometimes you just kind of need to express that. But when you don't have the words, but you do have people that are around you, those people also need to look at, okay, what am I doing? Am I helping this person? Am I being supportive by just lending a hand, giving extra food, being there to just listen? We don't always have to speak to someone else's grief, but offering support is usually the biggest gift that we can give. And oftentimes, people don't even know what they need in the moment, because it hurts so much to where our brains can only take so much. You know, we've already taken in, okay, this person isn't here, and what does loss mean? We have people that have lost people for the first time and don't really know how to express how they feel. You know, when it starts to look like it's getting debilitating, the person is not going out, they're not bathing, they're not engaging in enjoyable activities, but they're just kind of withdrawing and isolating. That's the time to kind of, you know, not be pushy, but offer some help and support. Now, when we look at it from an individual standpoint, you're looking at, okay, what can I do? You know, I'm lonely, I'm sad, and it may be that you have a lot of people around you, people that you can access to talk about anything. But for the hurt that you feel with grief, sometimes you feel like I cannot talk to anybody. You don't feel like anybody will understand, or you don't want to show your emotions, or whatever the reason may be that you're not really talking to someone. You know, we all have those moments when we do need to have those times by ourselves. But when it's for a long period of time, you know, we have to look at what is it that's hurting. You know, are we angry? Are we upset? Are we confused? You know, what are our feelings about dying? When we really look at it, just as we have life, we have death. We don't want to experience the latter, but pretty much everyone has experienced some type of loss. But when it comes to losing someone to death, we often get to a point where we feel like we're never going to be the same again. But we do have to look at the hope aspect. You know, we can be hopeful. We can look towards the future. You know, there are different things that we can do to honor the person that we lost, or honor the people that we lost. Keeping in mind that the person that you had, they would love to see you moving through life, happy, remembering them, of course, but not being so sad to the point that you don't want to live, or that you want to change your life because you lost them. That would make them feel worse. That would make them feel bad. So when we look at it from a different standpoint, maybe in a different context, you know, sometimes that kind of helps us to move through. And nothing happens overnight, but over time, we do learn that, okay, I did suffer a major loss, but I do have a future and I can be hopeful. So How do you get through this holiday season? We have to look at it from an individual standpoint. Sometimes it's not going to be easy. You know, you may not feel like going to a holiday party. You may not feel like going to the family function. You may not feel like even going to work. Some of the things that you can do for yourselves are to, kind of take in some of the previous videos. If you're going to a place where you know that there's conflict, traditionally there's always something that's popping off. That's not where you probably want to go. Maybe you want to stay at home. Maybe you want to go to a friend's house. Maybe you want to do it differently. So maybe expressing to the other family members, you know what? It doesn't always go that well when we do X, Y, and Z. Let's try something different. Creating new traditions, never forsaking how you celebrated before if it was a good function. But if you know that there's conflict, it might be time to change that. Sometimes good things can come about from having lost someone. You never forget the person. You never forget their memory, but at the same time, you try to move forward and you hopefully can create new memories. And when we look at how are we taking care of ourselves, the self-care aspect, as in the previous video, talking about, taking in good nutrition and getting sunlight. I always tell people, when you are feeling bad, especially when you're grieving, we tend to stay in the house. We tend to want to stay in the bed. And there's a time for that. But guess what? You do have to force yourself to get up and get outside. Good old sunlight is very healing. It's very, very good to get out and get fresh air. Because being confined to four walls or being in the house, a lot of times, no endorphins are really released. You are just sitting there. So if you could get out and even take a walk, I don't care if it's just a walk to your mailbox. That's better than just staying in your house. And then as you get back into the routine of things, after the holiday season is over, after family and friends have gone, that's another opportunity for you to express your needs to others. If you're not doing well, let somebody know. If you don't have that trusted contact, it's the perfect time to go to therapy. You may not need to go forever. But if you need to go for a few sessions, there's nothing wrong with that. We encourage it because it's better to process your emotions than to suppress your emotions. So I hope this video was helpful. And, I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. Regardless if you're staying home or if you're going near or far, just kind of take it in and realize that you may be going through, you may have suffered a major loss. But when we look at the people that we do have, we need to love them. We need to care for them. We need to honor them. And we also need to do the same for ourselves. Happy holidays.